lot of wear and tear. So that includes repairing lawn areas. We've been improving barbecue areas, adding new types of grills and picnic tables. Last year, we actually restored all the benches at the Drummers Grove. Some of the other work we're doing is sort of non-sexy things, but things that really impact the park, which is fixing drainage on park pathways and also improving some of the comfort stations. So this has all been part of this Renew initiative. And lastly, there's been a big volunteer component on it, particularly when it comes to trash management. We created a program called Green and Go, where community members can come out and we provide trash grabbers and bags and gloves, and they help to pick up trash. We also have done It's My Park Mondays, which is the same idea that we offered on Monday mornings to help the New York City Parks Department teams with trash management after busy weekends. And we've also really been working with the Parks Enforcement Patrol to help with enforcing rules in the park. So providing better signage, making sure that the Parks Enforcement Patrol is out there doing education around all sorts of use issues in the park. And this year we actually launched a stewardship campaign. We had our Summer of Stewardship, and every month we've been educating the public and generating awareness on different ways that the public can help to take care of the park. We created a pledge that you see here, and we even created a mascot. And we had a naming contest for the mascot. So it was a really wonderful way to engage people around park stewardship. So some of the highlights from the past year, I'm going to take you through sort of the key components of our mission. So one is caring for Brooklyn nature. As I mentioned to you, sort of the way that you can view the partnership between the Alliance and the Parks Department is the Alliance takes care of everything that's sort of blue and green in the park, where the Parks Department takes care of the gray, like the infrastructure, like the trash management, facilities, repairs, comfort stations. So in terms of our work to kind of, the park is home to Brooklyn's last remaining forest and only lake. There's 250 acres of woodlands. It's an important respite both for community members, but also for wildlife. So we do a lot of ecological restoration. That means planting the woodlands with native plants and trees that provide habitat for birds and for pollinators. So that's something where we do 2 huge plantings a year, and then throughout that time, we're also removing invasive species and taking care of trails and paths. We also have a signature youth employment program called the Woodlands Youth Crew, and that provides career development opportunities for Brooklyn teenagers, high school students, as well as giving them employment. So that program has really been has grown in leaps and bounds. We've gotten support to operate it through New York Presbyterian, Brooklyn Methodist Hospital, and the teens the past few years have been working on new woodland paths in our ravine, opening new access points in the woodlands for the public to enjoy, and it's been wonderful. And then also we have a commemorative tree program. So people can donate money to plant a tree in the park. It's usually in memory of someone who maybe has passed away or who's getting married or the birth of a new baby. And that program too has just seen explosive growth. So there are about 90 trees that we're planting a year through that program. And that's in addition to the hundreds of trees and plants and shrubs and ground cover that we plant every year through our general operations. In terms of capital, just to be clear, in case it's not clear to you, the way that it works at the Alliance is we advocate for city funding for capital improvements in the park. When the city funding comes in, the Parks Department commissions the Alliance to oversee the design and the construction supervision. So there's a number of projects happening in the park right now. We actually have a web page that you can visit that lists all the projects. It's prospectpark.org/tracker, I think. I don't know, Alexis McKenzie, if you could maybe type it into the chat. But a few of the highlights of the project, thank you, Alexis McKenzie. A few of the projects we have going on right now that are underway. On the upper left-hand corner, you're looking at a site map of the Vale, which is the landscape that we're restoring in the northeast corner of the park. We had presented the concept for this project to CB8 in the spring as part of our community outreach efforts. And the project right now is in design, and we expect to come back to CB8 most likely in the early winter, like maybe January or February this year with the actual plans for the project. But this is taking a number of acres in the northeast corner of the park, from Grand Army Plaza to the new entrance we created on Flatbush Avenue, and creating new types of woodland landscapes for the public's enjoyment. We also just kicked off construction on the Grand Army Plaza restoration. You may have attended last evening. We had a construction update on that. We're restoring the berms and the plaza and the arch, and the work just got underway in the berms. So there's a lot of tree and invasive removals that are happening right now. We're hoping to start work in the plaza in the coming months, and then the arch will start in the spring. We're also wrapping up the restoration of Lefferts Historic House. We put a new roof on this historic house museum, as well as did a lot of improvements to the exterior and the interior infrastructure. That house is from the mid 18th century, I think the mid 1700s. It was a Flatbush farmhouse that moved to the park at the turn of the century. And we operate it as a historic house museum in partnership with the Historic House Trust. And we're actually just launched an initiative called Reimagine Lefferts. We're looking to re-envision the mission and programming of the Lefferts Historic House Museum to reflect the fact that it was a site of slavery, and to better tell the story of the enslaved Africans, indigenous people who had lived and worked the land. Lastly, we're finishing up work on the last remaining unrestored ball fields at Longmeadow. So the Longmeadow has 7 ball fields, and over the past decade, we've been restoring them one by one. So the last 2 fields, the restoration is almost complete, and they should be opening in the spring for the community. Talking about the community, we have a lot of ways we engage the community. I'm just going to highlight a few. We already spoke about some of the volunteer programs we rolled out during the pandemic to help with litter removal that have been incredibly popular. Our Green and Go and our It's My Park Monday programs. We also have a pop-up nature education program that we bring to all different areas of the park called Pop-Up Audubon. And during the pandemic, we created play and go kits to make it safer for families. So families would come to us, they would select various activities, and we create a little like to go kit that they could take with them out into the park. We've been collaborating the past several years with BRIC, the producers of Celebrate Brooklyn at the Bandshell. On the bottom left corner, you could see an art installation. We're about to unveil our 3rd annual art installation at the Bandshell, which has been going up just a few weeks, a month or so after the Celebrate Brooklyn concert series concludes, and it stays up through the season until Celebrate Brooklyn is back at the Bandshell in May of next year. So this year we have a local artist who is doing a multimedia installation focused on Brooklyn nature, and we're going to be announcing that shortly. Lastly, we've been collaborating with lots of different groups in the community. We have a very long-standing partnership with Caribbean, which is a Caribbean cultural organization based in Little Caribbean. They have been working on different programming with us during Caribbean American Heritage Month, and actually in previous years have brought their a shipping container, which is a market of theirs, to the LeFrak Center at Lakeside for a holiday market. So that's what we're showing below. Lastly, in terms of advocacy, as I've mentioned to you, we do advocate with the city for capital investment in the park. And just a few of the highlights from this past budget year is we did receive several million in funding to restore the lakeshore. The Prospect Park Lake, it's Brooklyn's only lake. It's over 150 years old, and it has a lot of infrastructure needs. Just over time, there have been, it has just, eroded and has drainage challenges. So we have proposed a restoration of the lakeshore, kind of starting at the LeFrak Center at Lakeside and wrapping its way around to where the peninsula is, which would improve the environmental resiliency of the lake and also improve the user experience, fixing pathways, opening up views. So that work, we received, that's gonna be like a $20 million project. We received several million in this fiscal year that'll enable us to do a master plan. and then also do sort of a pilot strip of the lakeshore to show what the vision would be for the full project. And we plan to kick off that work later this fall. We are going to have like a public meeting where the community can come and learn about the plans and provide some insight and feedback. We also received funding to restore a pergola at the park side and ocean entrance to the park. That's an entrance that is going to be restored soon. It's about to enter the procurement phase, and then following that would be construction. And it's also the entrance where there will be a monument to Shirley Chisholm. We also received participatory budgeting funding for a number of projects. One or a few elements of the Woodland Ravine, so lighting on a pathway that connects the Nethermead to the Long Meadow, one of the historic bridges that connects the ravine to the Long Meadow. Just showing you here a participatory budgeting project from last year that's wrapping up shortly, which is we were given expense funding to be able to commission a safety study of the park drive. And we're currently working with the Parks Department and the DOT to see to review the feedback from a traffic consultant that was commissioned to do the safety study to see what improvements can be made to improve the safety of the park drive. And we hope to be able to release that shortly to the public for their feedback and comment. So that was me in a very quick way, getting through a lot of things that have been happening the past couple of years in the park. And I'm happy, Glinda, to open up to any questions people might have for me.
Anybody have any questions for Deborah?
Hi, it's Karen. I remember when you guys came, I think in the summer, and you were asking us opinions on that modification that you're making near, not on Grand Army Plaza, but on the end of towards the Flatbush Avenue area.
Right, the Vale
Right.
project, right. Mm-hmm.
Did we give you feedback?
Yeah, I mean, basically, so, you know, that project, we've done an extensive amount of community outreach around it because it was an area that really could be re-envisioned. A lot of the park is really under strict landmarks, so we have to bring it back to the historic design. But that area had seen change many times, so it was a little bit of a blank slate. So we had done like an intensive community outreach process in 2017-18 to get ideas of like what type of amenities the public would want to see in that landscape. And then the funding came in 2020. So what we did this past spring is we went back to the community before we even started design to say the funding is now in. This was the feedback we received back in 2017-18. This is what we're envisioning for this area. Does that sound right? And we asked people for their feedback. So right now we're in design, and we're going to be presenting the design as part of the formal public review process, probably in the winter. It's looking likely at this point, it might be January, February. Right now we're in the middle of designing the landscapes.
Do we have any more questions? Thank you so much, Deborah.
Yeah, of course, Linda.
You said a whole lot.
I know, I was going to say that. I hope I didn't speed through too much. I was trying to be respectful of time, but we appreciate the dedication of all your members of your Parks Committee. We look forward to coming to you to present some of our upcoming projects in the coming months. And on this slide, it says how you can always reach us. You can reach out to community@prospectpark.org, and we're happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Excellent.
And come back again as much as you can to please give us more and more updates. We welcome you every time that you come.
Oh, thank you so much, Glinda. Great to see you all. Have a great evening.
Okay, and let us know when you have your meetings again so I can try to make some of those meetings.
Yes, yeah, actually, Alexis McKenzie will follow up with you, Glinda, and let you know about some of our upcoming meetings.
Okay,
Yes,
thank
I
you.
will.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.
Everyone.
I'm going to stop presenting. Let me get this off my screen. Oh my good. Oh, here, stop sharing. Okay, there we go. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye bye. All right, thank you so much. We do appreciate that, let us know about what's going on at Prospect Park. That's part of our area, so we need to update all the time. So it was fantastic that they came to share their information. Um, I'm going to read the minutes. Okay. The meeting was called to order at 6:20 p.m. The minutes was read by Glenda Andrews. Lajani Granville motion to accept the minutes. Charles East second the motion. The minutes were accepted with any necessary correction. Report: Lincoln Terrace Park Tennis Association by from Charles East. They had a very good summer program. The family day was Saturday, August 20th, 2022. They had special recognition to all of the participants, the staff members, and parents. Arthur Ashe Kids Day was August 27th, 2022. It was the first, it was free of charge, and a lot of people attended this event. The winter program will start on September 17th at the Match Point Mill Basin from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. until the last Saturday in March 2023. They installed the bike lane on both sides between Eastern Parkway and East New York, but it was next to the curb, and ongoing traffic is dangerous. Um, they installed the barbecue pits in the park near the children's area. The ladies' room restroom was repaired except for one stall. They used the same type of toilets from before. Um, Ms. Andrews gave Mr. East congratulations for the Tennis Association being featured in the New York Times. Okay. And then we're going to have the Friends of Broward Park report from Marva Brown Henry. Um, they put up NYPD cameras in the park. There was a recent shooting. One Crown Heights Festival was August 21st. Basketball tournament was they had basketball tournaments ongoing by the NYPD. The National Night Out was a success. They requested to extend the Butterfly Garden, they received funds, but no approval from NYC Park as of yet. They have rain barrels and volunteers to help, but they're still waiting on the approval. Story time is still held on Wednesday from 10:30 to 12, from 10 to 12. It's still going on. 2,000 daffodils were received, daffodil bulbs to plant. They invite everyone to come out to help plant the bulbs. The next general meeting will be Tuesday, September 27th at 6:30 p.m. at the Shirley Chisholm area in Broward Park. Imani Garden have no water source, so there's a need to get a water system there. The committee planned to host Earth Day in April 2023 again at Broward Park. Karen Gray about Underhill Park. 2 trees have been taken down because of the trees were deteriorating. The sprinkler is needed in the drainage system near the children area to redirect the water. Ms. Andrews suggested that we have a tour of all the parks in our district. We need to see the actual conditions of the park. We can go to have this tour during the spring of 2023. Ms. Andrews will reach out to Chris Ginderly from NYC Parks to keep up with the capital projects. Marva suggested to do a field day with the children during the springtime in 2023. The next meeting was scheduled for October 4th, 2022. The meeting was adjourned at 7:13 p.m. Can I have a motion to accept the minutes?
Yes, Karen.
Second, Marva.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
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 Okay. Any nays? Okay. The minutes will be sent to the community board office with the updated information. Okay. So Miss Marva, do you have anything to report today?
Yes, well, actually listening to you read the minutes, I just remembered. Let me turn on my camera. Can you guys see me? Oh, yes. Okay. Great news. We heard back from Parks Department that Friends of Brower Park has been approved to expand our
Oh,
butterfly habitat and garden.
great.
Yay!
Fantastic. Yay.
Very good things. And we have some events coming up in October. We're going to be doing the daffodil bulb planting on October 23rd. That's a Sunday. I think it's in the afternoon, probably like 2 to 4, 3 to 5, something like that. We'll advertise the event on our social media and when we send out the newsletter on October 15th. So if you don't already follow Friends of Brower Park on Facebook, please follow us on Facebook. And if you want to send me your emails, we can add you to our mailing list for the email newsletter that comes out. I'll put my email in the chat. We'll also be co-sponsoring a doggy Halloween parade with Gail Branch Muhammad's Block Association. They've been doing it for a couple of years, but the doggy parade got too big for the block, so they're bringing it to the park.
Okay.
And
Moving
so,
up in the world.
yeah. And so that event is going to be Saturday, October 29th, 11 a.m. till about, I think, 1 p.m. And there will be doggy treats and prizes. And then Friends of Brower Park is a co-sponsor. So we'll have some activities in the garden and also some treats for the human littles as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's October. Those two events coming up. And of course, we'll do Leaf Crunch in November. We've already gotten permits for the tree lighting. That is scheduled for Wednesday, December 9th, I think is the Wednesday. And that's going to be co-sponsored by Council Member Chi Osei, who hopefully will have all of the fabulous giveaways that come with his Wellness Wednesdays event. They're just going to move Wellness Wednesdays to Brower Park for the day to be in conjunction with our tree lighting and also have a toy giveaway for the kiddies and lots of community organizations giving information and warm weather supplies to the community. So that'll be 4 p.m. on Wednesday, December 9th.
Okay.
And I think that's enough for now.
Wow. Well, you
Yeah.
all the way to December already. So with your plans,
And
you're
yeah,
planned for the rest of the year already.
and the winter solstice walk is another event that's become annual. And so whatever that Tuesday is, the longest day or the shortest day of the year, winter solstice, I think is like Tuesday, December 21st. That'll be happening at sunset in the park, where kids or community members, I always say kids, but it's anyone who wants, they make their own lanterns at home out of, recycled, reusable materials, whatever they want,
Mm-hmm.
any design. And then we walk through the park and learn about winter solstice stuff. We have an educational coordinator that handles that.
Great. Yeah.
So yeah, those are basically our 5 upcoming events in Brower Park over the next 3 months.
And you're gonna always plan for the Martin Luther King celebration thing.
We will definitely
Oh,
have
okay.
community service for Martin Luther
Mm-hmm.
King Day. Yes.
Okay. That's great. Any
Yeah.
questions for Miss Brown? And she
We'll
said a
put,
lot, right? She's well explanatory, so that's good. I don't think Mr. Easter's here today, right? I didn't see him. Okay, Karen, you have anything to say about underground? I mean underground, Underhill.
No, I don't have anything to say.
No reports. What
No.
about Imani Garden? Anything? Any updates on that? Anybody know?
I've been frequenting Imani Garden. So, I think we should invite Robert Safer to our meetings. I believe I don't know if there's a official title, but he's kind of in charge of the garden and with the coordination. And so they're still doing food scrap drop off for composting. We collect and keep it in our freezer at home. And then you can bring your food scraps, no meat, no dairy, to Imani Garden, which is located on Schenectady Avenue and Pacific on Wednesdays from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. and Saturdays 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Yes.
Okay.
And they make compost with your food scraps and then they plant. And they have beautiful collard greens, other tomatoes, cucumber, peppers, all different types of peppers, flowers, sunflowers, other kind of gardening flowers that you want. They have the milkweed for the monarch butterflies as well, and for bees. So it's a really nice working garden. They have chickens, so they have some eggs. No roosters. So
Okay.
just eggs. And also community events like cooking demonstrations, how to, plant your own gardens at home and things like that. So they're really active. They do spoken word nights and fundraisers with music. And I know we talked about this at the last meeting, they are going to apply for funding to try and get a water source because
Yes.
they have to tap the fire hydrant whenever they're in the garden, which is apparently what a lot of these community gardens do because they just
Okay.
don't have their own water sources. But, if we can get funding from the city for them to get a water source and electricity, that would be nice.
Oh, great.
Yes.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, because apparently they were also tapping electricity from the house that Greg Todd owns, which was right there.
Oh,
now,
and Greg is no longer there. So
yeah,
yeah.
he sold that house. So I'm like, oh, y'all still
Yes.
getting electricity from there? I wonder how long that will last.
Okay.
Yeah, but the garden's great.
I'm sorry, I'm late. This is Carolyn Johnson. I'm sorry.
Oh, hi, Carolyn. Okay. All right. Welcome, Carolyn. Okay. Okay. Anything else, Marva?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. All right. Mark, do you have anything to say? Mark Thurton?
Hi. No, not really. Um, the the police has
You kind
beefed
of break it up.
their patrol.
Mark,
Oh, yeah, I got a bad connection over
Yes.
here.
Yes.
Is this any better?
A little better. Okay, go ahead. Try it. Mm-hmm.
Yes. The police has
No,
beefed
it's not
their
working.
patrol.
It's not working. Okay.
Oh,
I can't barely hear you. All right.
I think he's saying that the police have beefed up their patrol in Brower Park in particular.
Oh, that's
right?
what you said, Mark?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's cop cars around here all the time. I live right here. And on Park Place or in the park, there's police vehicles often, after the last shooting incident in September. And, we have the cameras and stuff. So they're keeping the presence strong.
Well, that's good. That's good. We need that. Yes. Very good. Okay. Najani, do you have anything to report?
No, I don't, but I wanted to say that she gave a very comprehensive review of all of the things going on in Prospect Park. So
Yes.
it's good to hear how our tax dollars are being spent.
Right, exactly. I didn't realize he's doing so many projects at one time and so many things at one time, but that's a good thing. And they open themselves up to the public to get their, opinions. So that's good, you know. Okay. Anybody else? We have Francis, we have Poland. Anybody want to say anything before we leave? Or any remarks? Or
I'm just happy that, like Ms. Glenville said, that Prospect Park is very, very nice that is going on, and in all our parks that we can go and visit and have a good time. Very
yes,
nice, very nice report.
yes. Yes, we try to keep it safe. Sometimes, we miss the mark a little bit, but things happen. We can't control everything, but
Yes,
but 90% of the time, we want to try to keep it safe for the people and the children and adults and everyone. So
very nice, very
yeah.
nice.
Okay.
What happened to the lady who used to do St. John's, Friends of St. John's Park? I can't remember who it was.
Friends of St. John, you're talking about Regina. Regina?
Was it Regina?
Yeah, it was Regina.
Not Kinsey.
Yeah, she's the Friends of St. John.
Oh, okay.
Now back in the days it was Kim. Kim passed away, but but Regina, and it was what's her name? Dorothy. Dorothy used to be the head of Friends of St. John. So, but we don't have anybody doing that right now. So, anybody interested in starting that one, that would help. But we want to reach out to all of the parks and the centers, so we have somebody come to represent. Oh, you're talking about who person who works at the park. She's not Friends Up. She works at.
No. There was a
You're not talking
lady.
about Sandra.
No, not
Oh, okay.
park staff. A community member, and I thought a community board member who used to come to the meetings and talk about doing the plantings and park cleanups and stuff. But I feel like I haven't seen her this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
Colin wanted to say something.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to
Colin.
introduce myself. My name is
Yes.
Colin. I'm a new community board member. I've just been, so I just joined the Parks Committee, and yeah, I live near Brower Park, so I look forward to sending that email and getting more involved, and I'm happy to be here.
Well, Marva is your friend. She's the head person, so you're gonna see her a lot at Brower Park.
Yeah, sure. Send me your email and I'll make sure you get added to our email list. Welcome.
And they're doing a whole lot there, so you won't be bored. I'm telling you.
And I'll say this: the skateboard community came out really strong like 2 Saturdays ago, and
Mhm.
through a skate jam in the skate park with the DJ. They did competition, like doing tricks. They gave out food, they gave out skateboards, they gave out sneakers, t-shirts. It was really awesome. It was not a sponsored event, but they held it down. It was a really nice community event, good vibe, and it was lovely.
Yes.
So our
Very
skate
good.
park is
It's a
doing
good.
great too.
Yes. And I just wanted to mention, I didn't we kind of like drop the ball on the information about having some type of board or some type of neon uh, a board for the Brower Park. I did speak with somebody from the parks, and they were saying that first we were talking about putting the information back in those glass areas. They said it gets vandalized a lot, and that was not encouraged. So the other part is, I guess we would have to find funding, and we maybe have to put it on something that we want this done if we want to get the information, try to get some funding from our elected officials. We have to, advocate for that to get that high sign up that will show, what's going on in the park during the month. So that's going to be like a long journey, but it's something that we still will have to, try to do if we want to do it. But I did try to reach out to them about saying, well, what can we do about the board that used to be there at the park to say, no use doing it because every time they put something there, it get vandalized. So
Can I
I
make a suggestion?
I will say, just sorry, I will say that in response to community members speaking and saying they're not aware of events, I know that the community board office itself has made copies for us, laminated flyers for us. And I have personally walked the park hanging up flyers in like every entrance for most of the major events that have happened. And people have commented that they're seeing and getting, awareness of the events in advance.
Good.
So,
So
you know,
nobody's bothering the signs when you put them up?
some of them disappear. And I
Okay.
think it's probably because, people take them home so they can remember,
Right.
but I do multiple around the park and different entrances and stuff now. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's good to know.
A suggestion with that would be like, the electronic stuff that we have that it's Wi-Fi. You know what I mean? You know which ones I'm talking about?
Mm.
They're all over the place. If you have one of those outside the park area, that has the events like it usually has. I see community board meeting, it announces so many
Yes,
things. That would be something that they can put in the park or outside the park on the corner
right.
near one of the entrances and just have the events and other things that are happening in the neighborhood on there.
Similar to what they have in the subway too. So now where they have the information inside the subway, you can see,
Yeah,
announcements,
yeah.
commercials, or whatever they have. That okay. So I guess we would have to do some research on how would we, get that and how much would it cost.
No, the city. Remember, all those signs are up all over the streets on the corner. You know what
There's
I'm talking
there's
about?
So can
one.
we could get something from the city? That you saying the city would provide that?
Yeah, you could. I think we should contact the city and find out. They put up those signs, those electronic wireless things where people can go charge their phones and everything. Can they put one at the corner of Brooklyn Avenue and Park Place? And can they put one at the corner of of Park Place and Kingston? Those are two strategic points.
They
Right.
have, there is actually that map on the corner of Park Place and Kingston, but I don't believe it's outfitted with any electronic anything. It's not a port for charging your phone. It's no screen. It's just like a map of the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And so I oftentimes hang posters right there because there is like a blank square there, which I
Mm-hmm.
think that's what it seems like it's for. But I don't
Right.
think it's electronic or anything. I can stop by and check. But
Right, but we could get they could put an electronic one in the neighborhood because I think that I don't recall there's any on the block, any of the electronic ones on the
No.
well,
block.
probably because it's not a really commercial area. I feel like it happens in commercial areas, but if anyone has any contacts with the city of who does that and how
Hmm.
it's installed and getting funding for that, that would definitely be helpful to us.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, I guess we have to look into that.
Linda,
Yes.
I just wanted to let you know, I know the link kiosk, the community
Yes,
board
that's
can
what I'm
use
talking
those.
about.
They can use those for to advertise our board meetings. But I was told by Ms. George today that if you're only limited to a certain number of characters on that for free. So
Oh.
if you wanted to do something else where you have extensive information, then you may have to pay. So I would suggest that you ask Ms. George how it works, because she was explaining it to me today, because I'm working with a group that's planning a Veterans Appreciation Parade for November 5th.
Okay.
And one of the ladies who's chairing it was under the impression that, oh, you can use the link kiosk. Yes, you can, but you're very limited as to the information that you can put on there.
So you could put the event and the time and the date, and that's it, right?
Pretty much. But if you pay, now I don't even know what the rates would be for that.
Okay.
But the community boards get to use them for free, but that's only for their meetings. And anybody else, you can put things up there for community events, but it would be very limited information.
Okay. And for maybe a short period, for a period of time, and
I
they'll
think
take it
she
off.
told me you'd have to start the week before your event. So it would only
Oh,
run
okay.
for a week.
Okay. So Michelle, I'll reach out to you and see what
Yeah.
we can do about that. Yes. Okay. Very good. Thank you. That's a start. That's something that maybe we can move forward with.
And it's so funny, Glenda, because she and I just had that conversation this morning.
Oh wow. See how things work out.
Mhm.
Yes, that's good. I think that's it. I don't have any other announcement. Oh, I have a personal announcement. October 21st is my last day at Department of Finance after 36 years.
Congratulations.
Woohoo!
Listen,
Congratulations.
you're retiring upright and in your right mind. Congratulations.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to do.
Congrats.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to do. So, I'm just so happy. It's a bittersweet after all these years, you say I'm going to be so happy, then it get closer to time, be like, oh my, it's going to be something different. So I'll see what I'm going to do. Everybody said, you can boo-hoo cry. I said, I don't know what I'm doing, but
With
I'm
your
gonna be happy.
personality, you will fit in well wherever you go.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Okay. If not, then we have our next meeting. I don't even have the date, the first two. Michelle, if you're listening, I will have my meeting on. Oh, it's going to be the first because the election day is on the 8th. I just looked at it. the November 1st is going to be our next meeting on the via WebEx. Okay, so
Okay.
you should be getting that information. I'm going to catch up with all these minutes. I have minutes I have to send to the community board. And, in the meantime, do you have anything you want to say or have any information you want to move forward with, just, email us or go to the community board and, we'll try to get it out. Okay. Or follow up with it. Okay. You guys have a good evening and see you next time. Okay.
Good night. Good night.
Okay.
Good night, everyone. Be
Good
safe.